Alright guys, Peter Obi don't come respond to wetin dey sup, wetin dey go on, say in the demarket Nigeria. Peter Obi have responded to that particular word. As you and I know, before this VDM matter, everything came on, a lot of issues were going on, but this VDM matter can overshadow everything. Yes, before VDM matter, and I remember say Peter Obi were being dragged by one or two persons, say Peter Obi, they go demarket Nigeria for international media. Peter Obi don't come out now. On this particular video, when I go listen to Peter Obi, when I go listen to the ex-president, Goodluck Jonathan, and I go also listen to other people talking about the insecurity, the whole thing that is affecting this Nigeria at this particular time. Let's watch this together.
Obi, but we call him Peter Obi.
Your Excellencies, and our dear Father, Your Excellency, and my dear elder brother, Jonathan, let me respectfully stand on all due and existing protocols. Where do we start talking of our dear Father, Clark? For somebody like me who has just been part of this 2023 election, he lived a life of courage, a life of sacrifice, a life of justice, a life that is valued, but most importantly, his continued living that life to the end. I listened to my brother Mike when he talked about, may the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. I'm sorry, I'm happy that Jagawan is here, and I'm happy that Jonathan is here. But I can tell you, their sacrifice is in vain. They've sacrificed for nothing. When this country, when people were protesting, when there was no need to protest, under Jonathan, where are those protesters? Have they died? Where are they? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? Jonathan increased fuel from 87 naira to 120, and people were protesting in this country. And when it was 900, they were not protesting. Are they dead? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? People protested when naira was 180, and when it was 1,500, they're not protesting. Are they? So let's not say it should not be in vain. I spoke a few days ago and people said I'm demarketing Nigeria. When it's true to be demarketed, World Bank has just shown that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas are poor. Is World Bank demarketing Nigeria? UNICEF 2 days ago released that Nigeria now have over 2 million malnourished children, the second highest in the world. Are they demarketing Nigeria? Let's face the reality. Their labor is in vain. We have a country now that is not democratic. We are not a democratic country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Is the election that happened in Edo, is it democratic? Just the last election in Edo is the most undemocratic election. Everybody knows who won that election. So why are we keeping it and saying, let their work not be in vain? It is in vain. So we can start picking the pieces now, because they've done everything people have sacrificed for. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Above all, Jagawan sacrificed everything. The country people sacrifice has turned into a crime scene. All we do today is stealing. You know, and we have to do something. All we need to do is live a courageous life. May God Almighty that called him home grant him eternal rest and grant us the courage to look into what our Father lived for and start picking our pieces. May God bless all of you.
The life of this man.
He lived a life of justice, equity, fairness to all Nigerians, to all sections of Nigerians. And he maintained so consistently a valued life that we all need to emulate. He was not selective when he's speaking. He spoke for every Nigerian, and he spoke based on truth. He was fearless, even when it does not affect his own area. He will still say, this is the right thing. And that's what we require in Nigeria today. We now live in an unjust, unfair, uncaring society. So we need to do the right thing.
Let's talk about the fact that when it comes to the unity of Nigeria, it must be on the platform of justice. Are you saying that this man, the way he lived, is occurring at some parts of the country, you're not getting justice? That's why you say this.
It's for you to assess. I said it when I spoke. We now live in an unjust, unfair, uncaring Nigeria. So we will say that let the labor of our heroes not be in vain. But I think their labor is in vain. Because whatever they wished, we are living the opposite of it.
So you can imagine the relationship between me and General Akubuwan. Let me appreciate all our leaders here and my wife that here for this twin program of the memorial lecture and tribute in honor of my father, Chief E.K. Clark. We appreciate so much. Let me join the children, the direct wireless school children, and all of us who are his political children to thank you. It's difficult to end comments on E.K. Clark. Somebody asked me in an interview, now E.K. Clark is gone in the Niger Delta, do you think you can have a replacement for E.K. Clark? And I said that you don't need to look for a replacement for E.K. Clark because you will not get it. Because he's quite a unique person. Even at his age, his memory. If you mention a name as a young man of 30-something, 40-something, he will tell you what he did with your father. Not so many people have that kind of memory. And even listening to all the contributors, you really see that he was a very courageous person, very focal. And one key thing, he believed in the unity of this country. But he doesn't believe that any section of the country should suffer. So these are things, and he's ready to tackle anybody at any time. If he believes that you've said something that's not fit in belief about building a united Nigeria. People may see him as controversial in one way or the other, but if you listen to all his statements, it's about a country that must remain one, a country that every section, every individual should have the same treatment. These are the qualities of E.K. Clark. And what I told the person who asked me the question is that we cannot replace him. All what we have to do is to make sure that we come up with annual lecture or something that will continue to advocate his own vision and philosophy. And doing that gradually, we're going to impact on the younger ones what E.K. Clark stood for. We're all leaders in our own rights, but everybody has his own style of leadership. And I mentioned to that person that even if you read through the history of West Africa, you see that kingdoms rise and fall. And you hardly get, from the same kingdom, you hardly get two leaders that will do the same thing. One leader, one king, powerful king will come and build the empire. Sometimes a weak king will come and the empire will even go. But then this empire continues to endure. So E.K. Clark has done his best. It's left for us to believe in his own vision for life and his own philosophy. When my good friend Michael Zakome spoke, he talks about the issue of one-party states. And when you listen to the news, read the show, go through the show media, that's one thing that on an occasion like this, probably one need to. Yes, one-party states, countries have managed one-party states. Yes, one-party state may not be and evil after all, because Julius Nyerere of Tanzania used one-party states to stabilize his country in their early days of independence. He felt that his country has, just like Nigeria, too many tribes and tongues, two principal religions, Christianity and Islam. If he allowed multi-parties, some parties would toe the lines of religion, some would toe the lines of tribes, and unity would be difficult. But it was properly planned, it was not by accident. If we must, as a nation, go one party, then it must be designed, it must be planned by experts, and we know what we are going in for. But if we come through the back door by political manipulation, then we're heading to crisis. So I will advise that probably a country like Nigeria, it's better we allow the system to stay as it is. Yes, the multi-party, but if we, for some reason, we must go one party, then it should not be an accident. It should not be by political manipulation. Because if you read this book, How Democracies Died by two American professors, then you see that some of these are the symptoms of the death of democracies in nations. And Nigeria is a complex country. And I think it's better we manage the situation as it is, that manipulating the system in a way that would suffocate the country to death. I thank God for this.
Because Boko Haram is using armed drones. Let it be on record. They are using armed drones, weaponized drones, which the Nigerian army is not using. In other words, they are more sophisticated and advanced than the Nigerian army. Lastly, I lost people in Wajiroko. We lost people in Wajiroko as a result of Boko Haram insurgents. This is the few I can give you, just a tip of an iceberg as far as my constituency is concerned. I observe one thing. Boko Haram is fast coming back, worse than what we had in the past. Take it or leave it. Boko Haram, ISWAP, or whatever name you call them, they are coming back. Let us do something serious in order not to go back to our days when 22 local governments out of 27 local governments of Borno were occupied by Boko Haram. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we should be complacent. Rome used to be the greatest empire on the world, but it was destroyed by the complacency of the Romans because of their inability to take things serious, to deal with their enemies. So as I'm speaking to you, personnel, there are no Nigerian army personnel. They don't have enough personnel to face these boys. That is the truth. They are committed. They are very strong in their own stand, but unfortunately they don't have enough personnel and equipment to face the Boko Haram. I have seen it. Nobody reported it to me because I went to my constituency on Saturday and came back on Sunday. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we shouldn't be complacent with this. I align with Honorable Gaddi by saying that we should do our own needful by doing the proper oversight of money expended, because between 2015 to 2019, Nigerian government spent 19-point-something trillion naira on security issues. I have the record with me.
Well, the insecurity being faced by Nigeria, particularly the northern part of Nigeria, is of three dimensions. In the northwestern part of the country, we have what is called the banditry. Bandits engage in acts of kidnapping for ransom, killings, rape, attack on communities, and acts of criminality associated with banditry. Now, in the northeastern part of Nigeria, we have terrorism. And terrorism means there is an organized act of terror by identifiable terror groups with leaderships with networks, with connection within and outside of the country. And these terror groups sometimes work together and sometimes are in conflict with each other. Now, in the north central part of Nigeria, the situation is not clearly defined. In some cases, you have indigenous settler violence, and in some places, you have bandits attacking communities, and in some cases, you have terror groups operating within that region of Nigeria. Now, these bandits in the northwest have, in the last 5 to 6 years, been able to organize themselves in clusters. They operate in Katsina, they operate in Zamfara, they operate in Kaduna, they operate in parts of Jigawa State, Sokoto State, and Niger State. And they are the ones responsible for attacks on schools and kidnapping of students in Niger State, in Kaduna State, in Katsina State, and in Kebbi States. Now, these terror elements known as bandits are known by the public and are also known by the authority, despite that they remain elusive. There is the Turji, the Kachala, the Dogogide, the Alero, the Manjagara, all those kind of names of bandit leaders. And to be factual, they are basically Fulanis in the northwest. And in the northeast, you can see that there is the element of the Boko Haram and then the ISIS, and they have been operating for over 1.5 decades. And in the north central, now it become more complicated and complex in a situation that there are mixed communities there, and each time you have attacks, it is sometimes perceived as a religious violence by an Islamist against Christian populace. But it is important that we put all this within context, that both Muslims and Christians in northern Nigeria are victims of this act of terror. So a few days ago, they attacked a mosque, kidnapped all the worshippers, and killed the imam. And in Kaduna State, priests, pastors have become victims of these attacks. And as such, you can see that they don't discriminate, they don't select their targets. Whoever stands on the way and whoever is going to be of use to them in terms of the profits of kidnappings and ransom extortion, they will go after that person. So the choice for the country is that we must emphasize on the use of our resources, our energy, and the equipment that are available to our own security agencies to take on these terror groups. Very important, because even if you are going to apply the kinetic or non-kinetic approaches, you still need to be strong on the ground for you to demonstrate to the terror groups that they cannot win on the battlefield. And then the next thing that is very much needed is unity. Unity among the people, unity among the states, unity among the political elites and the political forces come together to fight. Where you have divisions, where you have acrimony, where you have internal conflicts, you cannot be able to take on these terror groups. The third aspect is the use of technology. In the 21st century, you can't run a security system with checkpoints where you simply tell commuters to open the boots of their car and then you flash torchlights on their faces and think that that is the best way to address the problem of terrorism. We need technology. In the 21st century, there are technologies which can detect and provide the necessary information and launch attacks in targets of terror groups. So we can't fight this battle, we can't win this battle without technology. So it's very important. The next aspect of it is the human intelligence. How we can use the locals to provide the necessary information to our security agencies is very important. But in our role, I think this country has to understand that we are facing a common threat, a threat that threatens our unity, our peace, our stability, and our existence as a people. The need for us to come together and fight this battle and win this battle is as important as our own survival as a people. And government after government, we can see failure in terms of approach, in terms of strategy, in terms of containment. This is very important. As for the northern part of Nigeria, we have to tell ourselves the fact that those of us from the north are the ones who are bearing the most brunt of these terror attacks. The need for us to come together, keep aside our political differences, and address these security challenges is of importance as our own survival. It's not simply about whether we like a government or we don't like a government, but this is a fact on the ground that we need to do. And the first thing we have to do is to accept that those who are involved in this terrorism and banditry must be dealt with. These terrorists and these bandits are not from Malawi, they are not from Senegal, they are not from Zambia, they are not from Mauritania, they are not from Mozambique. They are Nigerians, and particularly Nigerians from northern part of the country. Everyone knows them. We should keep aside our differences and deal with them. The insecurity faced in northern Nigeria has destroyed our lives, has destroyed our rural life, has destroyed our agricultural life, has destroyed our educational life in court, in rural areas, and in earlier we do something about it, the better for ourselves and for the future of our country. Thank you.
I made a video about tribalism in the Southwest and Tinubu's government, Tinubu's style of government that tends to be more nepotic. And this guy, Michael Williams, who I think is a Yoruba man, tended to agree with me. Then another Yoruba person whose name is Promise Beauty Cruz. Promise as in to promise somebody something. Then beauty as a beauty of it. Then Cruz. Cruz is spelled C-R-U-Z. Promise Beauty Cruz. You can search that on Facebook. He wrote this comment and I want to read it out. Someone like you is the reason they always abuse Yoruba people. That's Promise Beauty Cruz is talking to Michael Williams. Someone like you is the reason they always abuse Yoruba people. That Yoruba, they are weak and lazy tribe. Nobody has said Yoruba is weak or lazy. At least I have never come here to say that Yoruba people are lazy, Yoruba people are weak. Never. I've never in my life seen Yoruba people as lazy or weak. Let's go forward. See, as you just surrendered yourself so easily. I never knew the problem of Nigeria is about competition where you needed to stand your ground. Even if you are wrong, you had to stand your ground. See, as you surrender yourself so easily. You think these people want to support, sorry, let me take it again. You think these people you want to support mean well for you. Did you think Mr. Woto mean well for Yoruba people? Go to his last year video and see how he's heavy cursing Yoruba people because of Peter Obi lost election. Can't you see the attitude or behavior of Igbo people to Yoruba people. If Peter Obi became president, come the platform after election and see how they will useless your tribe. You think this about Nigeria? It's competition. Winner takes all. Nigeria should continue sinking than these people continue cursing Yoruba and insulting Yoruba people. Only if truly you are Yoruba. Now, I pray to God, I really pray to God that not a larger percentage of Yoruba people think like this. Not a larger percentage of Yoruba people think like this. I seriously think that is not how most Yoruba people think. Because we are talking about a country that we hope can be good. But with this type of mindset where you think it's about a competition, it's about holding your ground, irrespective of how bad your representative is, then there is no hope for this country. You know, this set of people, you see this set of people, they are the one destroying the image of the Southwest. They think it's about a competition between them and the Igbo people. They think it's about a competition. And quite frankly, I feel very bad. It's never about that. If you see me come on this page, I take on issues based on their merits and demerits. I don't take sides. Now, my narratives or conclusion may not align with your thought, especially those that have one track. Those that have one track. If it doesn't align, it doesn't mean I hate you. That it didn't align with your thought doesn't mean I hate you. The truth still remains that if your support for Tinubu is based on tribe, based on the fact that, well, Yoruba is leading, then Igbos can gnash their teeth. I still repeat it, Igbos will never beg. I've never heard Igbo come. I don't know how they talk for Igbo. Make I ask my neighbor how they talk for Igbo with the hungry. Yeah, I've heard they talk for Igbo say with the hungry for Igbo. Eh? Abuna gumu. I don't hear. They don't tell me. You never hear Igbo people come to talk say Abuna gunu. Is it Abuna gunu or Abuna gumu? Abuna gunu. Gumu. Okay. You never hear Igbo people come to say Abuna gumu. Say hungry they beat us. Now only a big power and Muna Jinua would they hear. So the country can be as bad as it's going to be. We will always find a way out. So when we come here crying, it's for the benefit of, it's for the innocent minority tribes who are not part of this so-called beef that you are having against each other, so that everybody can go home happy. Trust me, if you want Yoruba to rule, so be it. But please bring somebody better. If you want Yoruba to, if you think you want Yoruba to rule so that you make fun of Igbos, okay, no problem, we agree. But please bring somebody else, not this criminal. My name is Magnus Soraka.
What's your own take? Put it on the comment section. This is NWATCH Media. Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigeria time. Let's continue to talk about the things that's affecting you and I. Take care, guys, and bye for now.